Hello everyone, my name is Katya and today I'm going to show you how to crochet this adorable pillow. We use petals as ruffles and you can make it any size you want. You can either make it square like I did here or a circular pillow. It's up to you. For this project you're going to need number 4 medium weight yarn with a 5.5mm crochet hook. We're going to start with the magic ring. To work on your magic ring, hold on to your yarn tail with your thumb. Wrap your yarn around 2 fingers, crisscross it in the front. Hold on to the working yarn with your ring finger. Insert your hook underneath the first circle. Using the second circle, bring out a loop, twist it, go into your working yarn, and chain 1. Here we have a magic ring with the chain 1. Chain 1 more. This chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. Now if you're having a hard time with your magic ring, you can slip knot, chain 4, and slip stitch into the first chain to join and create a ring that way. It's up to you. Into this magic ring we're going to work 15 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue working until you have a total of 15 double crochets. At the end of round 1, you should have 15 double crochets. To end this round, we're going to slip stitch on top of the first double crochet. So here we have 2 chains. Don't slip stitch using this chain, but go into the first double crochet and slip stitch there, like so. Now go ahead and cut your yarn. Here we finished round 1. Let's go ahead and pull on this yarn tail, tighten the center. For round 2, you can start in any of the double crochets you want, but I'm going to start into the first one just where we slip stitched into. I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook using that stitch. Using new color, I'm going to wrap it around the hook and pull through. Hold on to your yarn tail. Now we're going to chain 1. This chain 1 doesn't stand for anything. Into this first double crochet, we're going to go ahead and work 2 double crochets. I am going to work my yarn tails in, so I'm holding on to them. So here's 1. Go back to that same stitch and work your second double crochet. Again, into the next stitch, work 2 double crochets. So here's 1 double crochet, and then go back into that same stitch and work your second double crochet. And that's the repeat. It's just working 2 double crochets into each stitch around. So here's 1. And then go back into that same stitch and work your second double crochet. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 30 double crochets. At the end of round 2 you should have 30 double crochets. Let's go ahead and slip stitch, but this time we're only going to slip stitch into the front loop. For round 3 we're going to be working into the front loops only. So go ahead and slip stitch and cut your yarn. You can chain 1 if you want to make it secure. You don't have to, it's up to you here. Pull out your hook and tighten it. Back into the same stitch that we slip stitched into, I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook and use a new color now. So wrap it around your hook and pull through. Hold on to your yarn tails. Into this first stitch we need to work a petal. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1. This chain 1 doesn't stand for anything. Back into that same stitch we're going to work 1/2 double crochet. Now we need 3 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, and 3, and I am working my yarn tails in. And back into the same stitch we need to work 1/2 double crochet. So into the stitch we worked 1/2 double crochet, 3 double crochets, and 1/2 double crochet. Now what we need to do is skip the next stitch. So skip this stitch, and into the following stitch using front loop only, we're going to pick it up and work 1 single crochet. Again, skip next stitch, and into the following stitch let's repeat the petal. We're going to start by working 1/2 double crochet, go back into that same stitch and work 3 double crochets. So here's 1. I am using front loops, 2, and 3, and now work 1/2 double crochet back into that same stitch. Here we worked on the second petal, and it's just a repeat now. So skip one stitch into the next stitch, work one single crochet, skip one stitch, work a petal into the following stitch using front loops. Half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and 1 half double crochet back into that same stitch. Again, skip one stitch into the following stitch using front loop only, work one single crochet, skip one stitch into the following stitch, work the petal using the front loop. So here's 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, and 1 half double crochet back into that very same stitch, and repeat around. I'll meet you at the end, because at the end we're going to have a different amount of stitches left, so I'll show you how to finish. At the end of round 3 you should have 8 petals worked. Now I have 1 stitch left, and into this last stitch we're going to slip stitch, and then we need to end this round by slip stitching on top of the first half double crochet. So pick up both loops and go ahead and slip stitch, and you can fasten off. Now what we're going to do is, in the back you'll be able to see all the stitches that we left, the back loops. We're going to work an increase round using those stitches. Right over here where we finished, I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook using the back loop. Bring your new color around, pull through. Now what we need to do is work a round of increases. So round 4 is going to be an increase round. Chain 1, and back into that same back loop we're going to work 1 double crochet. Again, I am working my yarn tails in. If you're having a hard time with working your yarn tails in, you can leave it until the end and work on them later. And here I'm going to pick up my next loop, which is right over here. And into this loop, back loop, I'm going to work 2 double crochets. So in between the increases, we're going to have 1 double crochet for this round. And then each round it's going to increase. Into this loop, I'm going to work 2 double crochets. So here's 1 and 2. Into the next loop, work 1 double crochet. And again, let's repeat. Into the following stitch or loop, work 2 double crochets. Into the next loop, work 1 double crochet. So in between our increases, we have 1 double crochet. Into the next loop, I'm going to work 2 double crochets. And like that, continue on working. And at the end of this round, you should have 45 double crochets, and I'll meet you then. I'm coming to the end of this round, and I have 1 loop left. Into this last loop, I'm going to work 2 double crochets. So each time, if we start with 1 double crochet in the beginning of this round, we should always end with 2 double crochets at the end of each round when we're starting with 1 double crochet. So at the end of this round, you should have 45 double crochets. Let's go ahead and slip stitch using front loop. And now we're going to add our petals. For round 5, we're going to repeat round 3, but this time we're going to have more petals. So let's go ahead and chain 1, and back into this front loop, work 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 1 half double crochet all into that same front loop. Skip 1 stitch, and into the following stitch using front loop, work 1 single crochet, skip 1 stitch, and into the following front loop, work your petal, which is half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and then 1 half double crochet back into that same front loop. Again, let's repeat. We're going to skip this stitch, into the following front loop, work 1 single crochet, skip 1 stitch, and into the following stitch, work your petal into the front loop. 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 2 and 3, and 1 half double crochet back into the front loop. And like that, continue working, and I'll meet you at the end. We'll finish this round together. At the end of round 5, you should have 11 petals. Here I worked my last petal and I have 4 stitches left. I'm going to skip this stitch. Into this stitch I'm going to work 1 single crochet using front loop, and now we have 2 stitches left. And what we're going to do is we're going to skip these 2 stitches, and into this first half double crochet of the petal we're going to go ahead and slip stitch using that half double crochet to end this round. Go ahead and fasten off and cut your yarn. Round 6 is going to be our increase round, and we're going to be using the back loops to work on this round. So right over here I have my first loop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring this yarn tail into that loop. It'll be easier for me to work on. And now what I'm going to do is insert my hook using that loop and bring in my new color. Hold on to the yarn tails and chain 1. Into this first back loop we're going to work 1 double crochet. Work 1 double crochet into the next loop. So if you turn your petals like this, you'll be able to see the loops easier. So right over here I'm going to go ahead and work my double crochet using that back loop. Now into the following loop we're going to work 2 double crochets. Here's 1, and go back into that same loop and work your second double crochet. Again, let's go ahead and repeat. We're going to use the back loops and work 1 double crochet into the next 2 loops. Here's 1, and then go into the next one and work your second double crochet. Into the following loop work 2 double crochets. So for this round we have 2 double crochets between our increases, and let's repeat. Work 1 double crochet into the next 2 loops, and now work an increase. An increase is 2 double crochets worked into the same loop. Again, work 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then 2 double crochets. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 60 double crochets. At the end of round 6 I have 1 loop left, and into this loop I'm going to work 2 double crochets. Now let's go ahead and start on round 7, and round 7 is our petal round, and we're going to slip stitch using the front loop, chain 1, and we're going to start on the petal. And to work on the petal we're going to use that same loop and work 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and now work 1 half double crochet back into that same loop, front loop. Skip 1 stitch, and into the following loop, front loop, work 1 single crochet. Now let's repeat. We're going to skip 1 stitch, and into the front loop of this stitch we're going to work a petal, which is 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3, and now work 1 half double crochet back into that same loop, skip, and into the next one work 1 single crochet using front loop. Skip, and into the following loop work a petal, 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 1 half double crochet. And like that, continue working, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Here I worked my last petal and I have 3 stitches left. I'm going to skip this one, and into this stitch I'm going to go ahead and work 1 single crochet using front loop. And let's end this round by slip stitching on top of the first half double crochet of the petal using both loops. Let's fasten up and cut our yarn, and at the end of this round you should have 15 petals. For round 8 we're going to start the same way using back loops. I'm going to go ahead and bring this yarn tail into the loop to hide it, And now, using my new color, which is, wrap it around the hook and pull through, hold on to the yarn tails, and let's go ahead and chain 1. Into this first stitch or the loop, we need to work 1 double crochet. So I'm going to pick up that loop and work 1 double crochet. Into the next loop, work 1 double crochet. So move your petals so you can see your loops. They're right here. So work 1 double crochet into that back loop, work 1 double crochet into the following back loop. So far we have 3 double crochets. Into the following loop, work 2 double crochets, which is our increase. So now we're going to have 3 double crochets between our increases, and each time it's going to grow and get larger. So let's work 1 double crochet into the back loops of the next 3 stitches. So here we have 3, and now into the following stitch using back loop, work 2 double crochets. Again, we're going to repeat. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches using back loops, and into the following loop, work 2 double crochets of that stitch. And like that, continue working, and at the end of this round, you should have 75 double crochets. To end round 8, we're going to go ahead and slip stitch using the front loop of the first double crochet at the beginning of the round. And now we're just going to repeat the petal round. So we're going to start by chaining 1, work 1/2 double crochet, 3 double crochets into that same stitch, 2 and 3, and then work 1 more half double crochet back into that same stitch using front loop. Go ahead and skip 1 stitch, and into the following stitch work 1 single crochet using front loop. And now let's repeat. We're going to skip this stitch, and into the following stitch work a petal using front loop, 1/2 double crochet, 3 double crochets, and 1/2 double crochet, all worked into that same front loop. And skip this stitch, and into the following stitch go ahead and work 1 single crochet using front loop. And like that, you're going to continue and work on your petals, and I'll meet you at the end of this round to show you what to do next. At the end of round 9, I have 19 petals total. Here I worked my last petal and I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to go ahead and skip this stitch, and into this stitch I'm just going to go ahead and work my single crochet using front loop. And now we're just going to slip stitch using the first half double crochet of the petal. And let's go ahead and fasten up, cut our yarn. For round 10, we're just going to do our increase round using back loop and our new color. We're going to go ahead and insert our hook into the loop, pull the new color through, chain 1 and work 1 double crochet back into that same loop of that stitch, the back loop. Now we need to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch using back loop, 1 double crochet into the next stitch using back loop. Here we have 3. Let's go ahead and work 1 more. And here we have 4. Now we need to work our increase, which is 2 double crochets into that same back loop. And let's repeat. We're going to work 1 double crochet using the 4 stitches into the back loops. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we need to work an increase. Using the next back loop, work an increase of 2 double crochets. And that's pretty much it for this round. It's just working 4 double crochets and then an increase, 4 double crochets and then an increase. Continue working like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. At the end of round 10, you should have 90 double crochets, and then for round 11, it's going to be the same thing with the petals, and round 12 is going to be the next increase round. So for each increase round, you should have 15 double crochets extra. So you're going to add 1 double crochet in between the increases. You want to continue and crochet your circle and make it as large as your pillow is. So here you can see that it's covering most of my pillow except the corners, which I'll show you how we can square it out. And that's pretty much it to it. So you're going to continue and crochet the front. I worked a total of 19 rounds and I finished with the petals. And the next round, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into a square. So continue working on yours. If you're making same size as mine, I worked a total of 19 rounds from the front. Just wanted to mention that if you're having a hard time with the petal rounds, don't worry about having exact number of stitches. Some of the rounds you will not. All you need to keep in mind is you want to make as many ruffles as you can. And then to end, if you have odd number of stitches, you can just slip stitch into the last stitch and then slip stitch into the half double crochet of the first petal. Now let's go ahead and work on the back of the pillow. We're going to start the same way. We're going to start with the magic ring. So hold on to your yarn tail with your thumb, wrap your yarn around your 2 fingers, crisscross it in the front, hold on to your working yarn with your ring finger, insert your hook underneath the first circle. Using the second circle, bring out a loop. Twist it. Here we're going to go into the working yarn and chain 1. Here we have a magic ring with the chain 1. Let's go ahead and chain 1 more. This chain 2 doesn't stand for anything. Into this ring we need to work 15 double crochets. So here's 1, 2, 3. Continue working on your double crochets. You need a total of 15 for round 1. To end this round, we're going to slip stitch on top of the first double crochet, chain 1. This chain 1 doesn't stand for a stitch. What we need to do is work 2 double crochets into each stitch around. So here's 1, and go back into that first stitch and work your second double crochet. And we're going to repeat. We're going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So here's 1 and 1 more back into that same stitch. Here we have 2 worked into the same stitch. And we're going to repeat. We're going to work 2 double crochets into the next stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 30 double crochets. To end round 2, we need to slip stitch using the first double crochet of this round. For round 3, we're going to chain 1. Into this first stitch we're going to work 1 double crochet. Into the next stitch work 2 double crochets. So here's 1, and go back into that same stitch and work your second double crochet. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next stitch and 2 double crochets into the following stitch. And that's the pattern. It's just working 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochets, 1 double crochets and then 2 double crochets. Like that, continue working, and at the end of this round you should have 45 double crochets. At the end of round 3, I have 1 stitch left, and I'm going to work 2 double crochets into the last stitch. And each round I'm going to end the same exact way. It's just working 2 double crochets into the last stitch. Let's go ahead and slip stitch on top of the first double crochet to end round 3. Now for round 4, we're going to start the same way. Chain 1, work 1 double crochet into the first stitch, work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Now work 2 double crochets into the following stitch. So in between our increases, we're going to have 2 double crochets. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Here's 1. Go into the next stitch and work your second double crochet. And into the following double crochet, work your increase, which is 2 double crochets. And like that, continue working, and at the end of this round, you should have 60 double crochets. Now we're going to slip stitch on top of the first double crochet like we did before. For round 5, we're going to start with the chain 1 and work 1 double crochet into that first stitch. Work 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So here's 1, and go into the next stitch and work your next double crochet. Here we have a total of 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we need to work our increase, which is 2 double crochets worked in the following stitch. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And now we need to work 2 double crochets into the following stitch. And that's the repeat. It's just working 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches and then 2 double crochets into the following stitch. Continue working around, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. To end round 5, we're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet. For round 6, we're going to start with the chain 1 and work 1 double crochet back into that first stitch. Now we need to work 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and together it'll be 4 double crochets. So between the increases we have 4 double crochets now. 2 and 1 more. So here I have 4 double crochets, and into the following stitch I'm going to work 2 double crochets. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and into the following stitch work 2 double crochets. And that's the repeat. So continue working, and at the end of this round you should have 90 double crochets. To end round 6, we're going to slip stitch on top of the first double crochet. Now for round 7, we need to have 5 double crochets between our increases. So we're going to start with the chain 1 and 1 double crochet back into that first stitch. And now we need to work 1 double crochet on top of the 4 stitches right here. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And into the following stitch, let's work an increase, which is 2 double crochets worked into that same stitch. Let's repeat. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And into the following stitch, work 2 double crochets. And like that, continue working until the end. You're going to repeat 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches and then work 2 double crochets into the following stitch. Continue working like this, and at the end of this round you should have 105 double crochets. So here we worked a total of 7 rounds. You want to continue this pattern and crochet your circle larger. Now for my next round, for round 8, I'm going to have 6 double crochets between the increases. And then for round 9, I'm going to have 7 double crochets between the increases. And like that, it's going to get larger. And you want to make your circle same size as the front. So here's my front. And if I turn it, I'll be able to see how many rounds I need to work on. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to make sure I have 10 rounds of this back circle. So continue working like this until you have the same number of increase rounds as the front to the back. And then I'll show you what to do next. If you're making a pillow, a round pillow, you don't need to worry about the next step. But if your pillow is square, what we need to do is work on this round and make it into a square. I finished working a total of 10 rounds, and I have 150 stitches all around my last round. So I need to divide the 150 stitches into 4 because we need to make it into 4 corners. And I ended up being with 37.2. This means that I'm not going to have exact number of stitches between the corners, and that's okay as long as they're close enough. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So go ahead and divide your number of stitches on the last row by 4, and then I will show you how to make the circle into a square. So right over here, I finished working on my last. So here is my last double crochet that I worked on, and right over here would be my first double crochet. Now if you're crocheting with the same color yarn, don't worry about this part, but I am going to use this stitch, the first double crochet of the round, and I'm going to go ahead and chain 1. Back into this first stitch, we're going to work our first corner, and to work a corner we need 2 double crochets. So here's 1 and 2, chain 2, and work 2 more double crochets back into that same stitch. So here we worked on our first corner, and now in between this corner and our next corner I'm going to work 37 double crochets. So find your first double crochet, which would be right here after the corner, and work 1 double crochet. And then like that, just continue working your double crochets until you have a total of 37 double crochets. And I'll meet you then, and I'll show you how to work on the second corner. Here I finished working 37 double crochets, and I am working 37 double crochets because when I divided 150 by 4, it gave me 37. So now what we need to do is work a corner into the following stitch. And to work a corner, we need 2 double crochets. So here's 1 and 2, chain 2, and work 2 more double crochets back into that same stitch. So far we worked a total of 2 corners. Next we need to work 37 double crochets. So go ahead and work on your 37 double crochets, and I'll meet you next. We'll work on the 3rd corner together. So here we finished working 37 double crochets. Let's go ahead and work on the next corner. So into the following stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets. Here's 1 and 2, chain 2, and work 2 more double crochets back into that same stitch. So far we have 3 corners. So here's our 3rd corner. Now instead of working 37 double crochets, we need to work 36 double crochets, because remember we didn't end with even number of stitches when we divided it by 4, and that's okay. So go ahead and work on 36 double crochets now, and then we'll work on the corner, our last corner, together. Here we worked a total of 36 double crochets. Let's go ahead and work on our last corner. So into the following stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets. So here's 1 and 2, chain 2, and work on 2 more double crochets back into that same stitch. And now we should have 36 double crochets left, and we're going to work 1 double crochet on top of these 36 stitches, and then I'll meet you right over here. We'll finish this round together. To end this round, round 11, we're going to slip stitch on top of the first double crochet of this round. So go ahead and slip stitch. And now what we need to do is chain 1 and work 1 double crochet into the first stitch. Now work 1 double crochet into the next stitch. And now we're going to be right where the chain 2 space is. And into that chain 2 space, we're going to work 2 double crochets. Here's 1 and 2, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets back into that same stitch, or same chain 2 space. Here we worked on our first corner, and now we need to work 1 double crochet on top of all the stitches until we get to the chain 2 space. And into the chain 2 space we're going to work our next corner, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. And then we're going to work 1 double crochet on top of all the stitches and repeat the following corner. So continue working on this round, and then I'll meet you at the end of this round and we'll measure and see what we need to do next. Here we finished working on the second round of the corner round, and this is how it looks like. Don't worry if it's wavy, it will stretch when we put it on the pillow. Now what you need to do is repeat the same thing and work on 2 rounds of the corner rounds for the front of the pillow. Now the only difference is for the first round, you're going to work in the back loops only, because we already attached the, we worked on the petals. And then for the second round, it's going to be the same exact one as you did here. So go ahead and work on that, and then we'll attach it together. So align your 2 pieces together, the front and the back. And right where I finished right here, I'm just going to continue and slip stitch. I'm not going to cut my yarn, but if you want to, you could, and you can start anywhere you want. You just want to make sure they're aligned, the stitches. So here I'm just going to go ahead and find my stitch from the back, and I'm going to go ahead and use both loops from the front and both loops from the back, and pick it up and go ahead and slip stitch using those 2 stitches. And then repeat, pick up both loops from the front and both loops from the back and slip stitch. Again, pick up the next loops and the next stitch and slip stitch. And like that, we're going to slip stitch. Now into the chain 2, we're just going to slip stitch 2 times. So here's 1 and 1 more. Now let's go ahead and slip stitch using the next stitches. So you're going to pick up your stitches and you're going to slip stitch using those stitches. Continue working like this, but you don't want to finish all the way to the end. What you want to do is leave the bottom open, because we need to add our pillow, and then we'll slip stitch the bottom together. Once you finish slip stitching the 3 sides together, this is how it looks like so far. Now what we need to do is go ahead and insert our pillow inside, and then we'll work on the bottom together. Once you have your pillow inside, all you need to do is same thing. You're just going to come on this side, pick up your stitches from both sides, from the front and the back, and just slip stitch. And again, pick up the next stitch and the following stitch from the back and slip stitch. So continue working like this until the end, and then we'll fasten off together. Here I'm at the end. I just wanted to show you I have 1 stitch left in the back and 2 stitches in the front. If that happens to you, what you can do is pick up the front stitch and use the same stitch from the back that you already slip stitched into and just slip stitch. And then same thing with this one. Pick it up and go to the next one or to the one in the back. It doesn't really matter here as long as you slip stitch them together. That's what you're looking for. And to end, we're just going to chain 1 and cut. Pull out your hook. And what I like to do, instead of weaving this in, I'm just going to use my hook and bring it on the inside. And then again, I'm just going to use my hook and bring this yarn tail on the inside. You can add buttons or you can add a zipper if you don't want to slip stitch the 4 sides together. You can go ahead and steam the petals out if you need to. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.